Okay, now you're in.
Right. Okay. So now they're what we refer to as casuistic law, right? And you know casuistic law from we've discussed in the past. This is no news to you. Case law, and the famous place, case law is right is when we have in Kiddushim, before you have the laws of the sexual prohibitions, and one case is before Kiddushim, one set of laws, right? And the duplicate set of those laws come after Parashat Kiddushim, right after Kiddushim to you. One is casuistic and one is apodictic. Case law would be, and if a man with a woman, etc., etc. The other one is you can't do this, you can't do that, and so on and so forth. Good. So that's a classical place where you have it. Maybe you should call Eli and see if he's having a problem.
No, so he's in.
No, he's not. I told him open up your Zoom app on your phone.
Instead of Zoom.
Oh, then I thought yeah, call Eli. A minute. Eli had it. Oh, he's in. I think that's him. Eli, you there? Yeah, he's there. Right. Okay. Yeah, he's there. Okay, you're good. So that's the case law, and that's the cap. Now, this all is case law. Mm-hmm. I want you to go and follow the case law all the way. That would be chapter 21, and then in chapter 22, but stop in chapter 22 at verse 16. The last one is like this. I'll read the last law. Right? If the father refuses, that's the end of the case law. Mm-hmm. Right, the next law becomes apodictic. Law to haegel. That is not a case. That's explicit. Witches die. You don't let them live. Witches are out. Motumat. Bestiality. Penalty for bestiality is capital punishment. And then Zobeah Elohim Yahoram. If a person offers to quote unquote Elohim, Bilti Yahoram, he's put in Hirim. You know, when you're in Hirim, you're dead, right? Yeah, Yahoram. Bilti Ladonai Levedor. The only one that you can be Zobeah to is Yud Kivavke only. Stop. Mm-hmm. Those three laws are the point. Mechashifa is where it turns. Now, the term Zobeah Elohim Yahoram is a term that the rabbis, mm-hmm. You'll see it, for example, if you look up Rashi, says there, Zobeah Elohim Aherim, to other gods. It doesn't say that in the text. In that we're in Stephen, we're in 22, verse 8, chapter 22 of Shemot, verse 18. Zobeah Elohim Yahoram Bilti Ladonai Levedor. Right? Mm-hmm. Only to God. But it doesn't say Elohim Aherim. And the fill-in that the rabbis do, they do it because otherwise, what do you do with this? Mm-hmm. Elohim? What Elohim? It's standing in the middle of nowhere, and
English stuff.
Second half of the pasuk tells you Hashem.
Yeah.
Just not Hashem in the first one.
Well, so you have to fill in the blanks. I'm telling you what the rabbis do. I don't think it's correct. No. It would have said Zobeah Elohim Aharim. You don't say that. You don't say the Elohim and leave it undefined.
Hashem is telling you the second half, that's filling it in for you.
No, it's only filling it in for you if you assume it's Elohim Aharim. If B'Tila Hashem Lador Elohim means something else, X, you can't be Zobeah to X. You can only do that to God. Elohim, it should have said Elohim Aharim. Right. That's the normal way to say it. So they'll say, put in the word. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a nice answer, Soli. Don't tell me the answer of the Hakamim. I'm telling you, you already know I'm going to disagree because of the way I'm speaking. I understand that for the last 2,000 years it's been translated that way. And of course you're going to make a case because you and 2,000 years of commentaries, or 2,500, for 2,500 years.
He was all over the Chumash, but that's God. So
Yes.
That's why.
So
I'm not.
You're backing me up.
Yes.
Zobeach Elohim. What do you mean, Elohim? That's God.
Right.
That's God. What do you mean, Elohim? Oh, Elohim. Well, so they all go, well, of course, that's what it means, right? Otherwise, if you don't say, of course, that's what it means, you can't move. You understand? Mm-hmm. They didn't draw the conclusion. What are you going to do now? They don't know what to do with it. That you can only be Zobeach to God, to Yud Kif Vav Kif. By the way, it's also putting the word Elohim and Yud Kif Vav Kif, right? Elohim, only to Yud Kif Vav Kif, not to Elohim, right? Mm-hmm. That's also to even answer you a little better on that. The word Elohim means gods,
plural.
The word God, the Torah turned the word into a singular, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. But in reality, that word
is plural.
Is a plural. Elohim, right? Elohim Ahadim means other God. No, other gods with a plural. Mm-hmm. Okay? So for some reason, which we'll touch on maybe tonight, I don't know if we'll get to it. For some reason, the Torah comes along and it leaves it undefined, right? Leaves it like unspecified. Now, right after that, this what we'll call clear change from casuistic law to apodictic law comes the following: V'ger lo toneh. Don't oppress an alien. V'lo tilhasenu. And don't give me Eli, Lee, give me a good English translation. A bad one.
Do not oppress a stranger or exploit him.
Good word. I like it. It's good. Don't oppress him. Don't exploit him. You're getting. You know what it's like to be an alien, right? Then it moves on. Every widow and orphan, don't cause them to suffer, to afflict them. If you cause him suffering, if he cries out to me, I'm going to hear his cry, and I will be angry, and I will kill you with a sword, and then your wives will be widows, and your sons will be orphans. Very, very heavy words, right? Now, it moves on. If you lend money to my people, with the poor person amongst you, don't be like a debtor to him. Don't be a guy who puts undue pressure on him to pay exorbitant amounts of interest. If you take as a guarantee his clothing, right? You could take it as a guarantee, but every night you have to give it back to him. It's his only thing that he has to wear. You took his coat from him. He's similar to Leorah. It's his coat to cover his skin. What's he going to lie down in? If he calls out to me, I will hear it. I will listen because I am compassionate. Stop. Mm-hmm. Those words are followed. That whole piece that I just read to you goes into a discussion about widows, orphans, aliens. The very next statement after it is Elohim lo tekelel. You know, we said before Zabeh Elohim Yahoram, Batil Hashem Levador. Now it says, it goes, it's like this could have been after that other statement. Elohim lo tekelel. You can't curse. Who's Elohim?
Which God? What are we talking about?
What is it? It's God? It's not. Look at the words next to it. Eli, you see the words next to it? Elohim lo tekalel v'nasi b'amecha lo ta'or. That's a parallel. Elohim lo tekalel means, listen carefully.
Judges.
Judges. So you're
Judges.
You're on, what do you call it? Probably mute. I saw your lips moving. Yeah.
Okay. Judges. Judges.
It's too low.
Judges. Judges.
It's
Judges.
how do I
Can't hear me?
maybe
Judges.
it's my phone. Wait, maybe it's my phone. Wait,
It's yours. It's yours.
try it again.
Judges.
Yeah, I
Judges.
barely hear him. You hear it? It's very, very
Judges.
low.
Judges. Judges.
Okay, whatever.
Judges. Judges.
You see
Judges.
the beer thing on the top?
Yeah.
Judges. Judges.
Oh, the ear.
Judges.
Had to do with
Elohim
this
lo
thing.
Yeah,
tekalel
put it on
v'nasi
top
b'amecha.
mode.
There you
Oh, it's on 20% battery. I'm gonna have to
go.
plug in. There's a plug in there if you want. Yeah, 15-foot plug. So Elohim lo tekalel. Now there's no ambiguity. Doesn't mean Elohim lo tekalel. Doesn't mean Elohim harim now. Correct? Because v'nasi b'amecha lo ta'or. And Nasi is a political leader, and Elohim is another type of leader, right? That's why they're being parallel. That's what you were saying, Eli. Yeah. What is that?
Is this what you meant?
I don't know what this is. What is this?
It's a pad, a charge that you put on top.
Oh, I see. I'll just plug it in. But there's an extension cord in there. See if there's
Maybe
an
that
extension cord.
Is it? Oh, we go with battery.
No, you don't see an extension cord anywhere.
No.
You better really. edit
Okay,
this.
we're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Okay,
You're
the worst comes to worst, give me the one on the wall.
That's what happened when you-
It's sticky.
Do anything.
So now,
Yeah, he's at it.
he's making fun of me. He's making. You heard what he said? Well, months went by, you didn't get close.
Forgot how to.
You lost your charge.
Yeah, wise guy. So now, there's no. It doesn't say it with this Elohim. It doesn't say Elohim Harim because, of course, it doesn't mean Elohim Harim. Of course, Elohim, don't curse the Elohim, whoever they are, right? We'll call them, for argument's sake now, judges. And Nasi b'amecha lo ta'or. And a Nasi, which is like the political leader, he's called like, Nasi, there were 12 Nasi'im that offered at the Mishkan. Nahshon ben Aminadav is the Nasi for Yehuda, and so on and so forth. So clearly, those words are referring to a leader. And there's no ambiguity at all. Now, I want to, before we go forward, well, we'll finish it off. You have to give me Eli, Lee, you could translate that.
Do not delay offerings from your harvest or grain or wine. The firstborn of your sons you must give to me.
כן תעשה לו שלך, צונח שבת יהיה עמו, ביום
ביום
השני, on the 8th day, there's the 8th day, there's the Beri coming in, titano li. Now, in Mishpatim, you have it called before, you don't have the 8th day, right? Over here, it's 8th day. V'anshei kodesh tinyun li. Now we've even moved on, it says you have to be people, right? Kedoshim, like, you have to be kodesh. Ubasar basadeh tinefar lo tochelu. Can't eat meat that's not.
Told by the beast.
Right, it's torn up. Like give it to the dogs. Now, let's hold off on continuing for a minute. When you look at the piece that came after Elohim, Zobeh Elohim Yahoram, those three things, you move on to a subject about the widow, the ged and the
And the widow.
and the almanah and the yatom.
Right, the first.
When you move on there, the wording, first of all, on a philosophical level, which we won't go into at depth now, says the following: if they cry to me, I'll hear it, and then you're going to die,
If they don't.
right? I'm going to come after you and I'm going to kill you. The words are very strong. It's like this. You know, it's very, I'm going to kill you with a sword.
And make your wives and children.
Right. I'm going to turn them into the very thing if you do that. It's very powerful. Besides that, you could ask the question, why is God saying
If
they
don't-
call me?
Right.
Well, what if they don't call me?
Right.
So Rabbi Sassoon brought this up many years ago and says clearly from the statement, if you don't call me, right, nothing's happening. It's clear. If, in other words, if you're like in your own little world of however you look at the world, and you don't recognize there's a creator, or you don't turn to God and cry out for help, well, then you're like the orange juice, you know.
Even Yetziat Mitzrayim, right? They cried out.
That's right. And Shamati, and I heard their cry. Till they cry, I hear their cry, and I'm going to respond, God says. Shamati, right? Now, kat b'ni Yisrael. That's what you're talking about. Without that. But now let's put the philosophical part aside for a minute and recognize that this peace that comes between the two Elohim statements, the first one being Elohim,
Right.
Zobei Elohim Yahoram, the second one being Elohim Lo Tekalel.
Tekalel.
In between there is a very outstanding piece about protection for aliens, widows, orphans, and people who borrow money who can't be compromised. Correct?
All those.
The piece about not compromising the lender is different than the first part. That guy is different. He doesn't talk to him the same way he talks to the guy who oppresses widows and orphans. He says, no, God says the most amazing thing. B'mishkav. It's the weirdest thing. God goes like this. Well, how's he going to sleep? B'mishkav. God talks like this. As God is talking, he goes like this. Where's he going to sleep? What, how could you do such a thing? It's like almost pleading. You're going to take his coat? Where's he going to sleep?
No, but it's Akalai Shmati. He says, I will.
He's-
No, yes, but the way he approaches the guy is tells him he's talking to the guy's conscience. He's telling the guy, "Hey, you know why? Because now he's not talking to a guy who's an oppressor. So the guy who lent money. The guy did lend the money.
Has some validation to one.
He's something about the guy did lend the money. He needed money. He lent him the money. But now that you lend him the money, you got to treat him like a regular guy. You can't do this to him. Where's he going to sleep tonight? What's the matter with you? It's like I talk to you, go, Soli, are you kidding? You can't do
Empathy.
that.
It's
Right?
empathy.
Yeah. And God is speaking with that. This piece is exactly 80 words.
Oh,
He said it.
From the Ger lo toneh until the words Ki Hanun Ani.
He ends with.
It's right. Ki Hanun. He says, I'm compassionate. He's telling the guy, I will listen, right? Because Ki is Akilai v'shamati. He doesn't say I'm going to come and kill you. He doesn't say I'm going to come and kill you, and I'm going to turn you into a poverty-stricken beggar on the streets. He doesn't use those words because he is talking to a guy who did lend money.
The guy who's abusing the Gay Yatom and Almanah is just downright low life.
That's correct. This guy is one step above.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
the fact that it's 80 words is a big, big deal because I look at the story as follows. You are being given an instruction here that's very unique. You're supposed to think of a CEO, a farmer, a farm owner, a landowner, think of it in a modern day, a guy runs a company and he has a microphone and all the workers are there. And you are supposed to emulate God here. You know what he tells the workers? Listen, if I find out that any of you have aliens who are unprotected and you're abusing them, I'm coming after you. If I find out that there are women who are being compromised, unprotected women, right? And you're keeping them working after work over here in this facility till 12 o'clock at night on machines, or I find out that you're abusing them sexually, or I find out that you have kids working till 12 o'clock, you're taking the kids and you're abusing, keeping them working all day. If word gets back to me, you're going to die. He says it like that, the guy on the microphone. If I find out that anybody in this company is treating these workers like that, you're going to die. I'm coming after you with all of my abilities, everything at my disposal. I'm wiping you out, not only out of the company, you're not going to be hired by anybody anywhere. And you are emulating that. But he has to say, if word gets back to me. If word doesn't get back to him, he doesn't know. When it's a human being, as opposed to God, when a human being says, he has to say, if he cries out and word gets back to me, you're finished. Meaning he's setting up in the crowd. You get to me, you get word to me, I'm acting. The people who are being abused are hearing him say that. If word gets back to me, the guy who's abusing you is dead. I'm coming after him with everything I got. Not a little bit. You're going to die if I get my hands on you. You understand? Yeah. The threat is this powerful a threat as he can get. When he turns to the guys who lent money, he tells them, listen, you can't, how could you do such a thing? How's he going to sleep tonight? Right? He's still on the microphone, the guy who runs the company. You got to give him his coat back. What is he going to do? He sleeps in the street. He doesn't have any house. It's freezing out there. And if he calls, I'll hear because I'm Hanun. He doesn't say what he'll do. He doesn't say what he'll do because this guy's not a guy that you can threaten you're going to die. If he calls out to me, I'm going to make sure he's taken care of, right? He doesn't say it. It's unspoken. I'll hear. Why? Because I'm Hanun. I'm compassionate. Well, if you're compassionate, that guy's going to be taken care of. So the words fit into the covenant perfectly. This section, in the midst of where it just turned apodictic, right? It went from casuistic, went to apodictic. You have an 80-word section that reflects the berit in spades. This is the core of the to-do, tzedakah, and mishpat. And you tell a story over where God says, I'm going to come through and I won't allow these things to happen. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so keep going. So why in this section that stresses shared humanity, it starts off with
witches. It starts off with witches to tell you, why does it put witches with bestiality? What's the most abominable thing you can think about in the world? Bestiality. It always is a talk about. You talk about bestiality, it's like saying everybody in the world says, "Shochev and behemah." Bestiality. You're
not hurting.
low light.
No. You're an abomination. You're an abomination. And nothing to do with that. You're an abomination. Witches are the bottom of the barrel of the human race. Bottom. They do cause suffering. They are there. So they're bestiality. You want to think of something repugnant? It tells you about witches. Witches, by the way, means witches, warlocks. Yeah, because that's the real thing. They tell people they don't do magic. They're filling up their pockets. It's all lies and at the expense of people. Hold on to your place a minute. And now turn
that because it's just supposed to look at it as being just as repugnant the way you look at bestiality when you do this.
That's correct. That's correct.
Contrast.
The way you're disgusted from
that.
bestiality, mechashefa, it's repugnant because the thing we're going to talk about right now, this gerlotoneh and so on and so forth, that 80-word section, that is the opposite of that. The mechashefa is the opposite of this. The witches, the warlocks,
Or if you behave that way to the gay Yatom, it's like you're being.
Repugnant.
it's repugnant.
Those people.
It is an abomination to the human race.
The point is that those people do it. If you don't take care of the gay Yatom, you're just like them.
Right. And Zobeh Elohim Ahoram is to be discussed. We're leaving it a minute. But take it as if you offer a sacrifice to anybody other than God, it's the same ramifications because it's the same abomination that comes about. It's the same epitome of suffering that it brings about in the world, right? Whether it's a witch, whether you're just like you're disgusted from bestiality, that's how disgusting Mechashef is, and that's how disgusting are the people who don't
Exploit.
right. They're exploiters, exactly.
And those times, Tom, they had nothing. They had until like 100 years.
They died in the
They died,
streets.
nobody took care of them.
No, they died on the seat
They
on
were
the
like-
side of the street. You saw bodies, and not from a war. You just see people dead. They're dying. They're dying. No protection whatsoever. No welfare system.
Right.
No anything for them. They're totally unprotected.
Nobody watching over them at all.
Right. And abuse to them is the easiest thing in the world.
Because who's going to complain other than God? Like,
Only. That's it. There's nothing to come through for them. So that's why the guy who's running the company who gets on the thing knows they're unprotected and threatens. He threatens the workers, right? Let's say he's talking to 1,000 workers in the audience, right? He threatens them because there's nobody to protect them other than him. If he doesn't, when he gets on, he's very, very, very blunt. I'm going to come after you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you down, and you're going to be wiped off the face of the earth. It has to be extremely, extremely powerful in the way it protects them, because you got to put the fear of God in them, right?
And that's why it's apodictic.
That's right. It's apodictic. That's correct. That's how you talk. This is how you act. This is what you do. No case, law tirzah, law tinaf, like that. Now, if you'll hold your place on where we are, and you'll turn for a minute to Sefer Devarim, I want you to go to Parashat Shofti, which is in about 18 or 19 or something like that. Yeah. 60, 17. And see that when you start with Kia Paleh to 17:8, Kia Paleh, the Paleh Mechad Abal Mishpat Ben Dam the Dam Din Lim Debre Nega Debre Word Besharecha. Those are the cases that are the counterpart to where we are in the Mishpatim section in Shemot. The first thing it says, you have listen to what it says. You go to the Kohanim and the Leviim and the Shofet that are in those days, V'darashta, and they tell you the Vara Mishpat. And you do, who, etc. Don't turn, etc. Right? Then, and you say, now that piece, we claim, as you all know, never existed in Devarim. The next law originally in Parashat Shoftim was Lo yeh kohanim havim kol shevet levi helik v'nahala. You can't have a portion, and nahana lo yeh b'ker v'hav, etc. V'zeh mishpat kohanim, they get the Zeroah and the L'chaim and the Kebah. And then it says, V'chi abu ha'levi me'hat sharecha, etc. Ubechol avan nafsho el makom asher b'char v'shiret b'shem Adonai Elohecha, etc., etc. Stop.
There's no king, right?
There is no king. The follow the laws of the king says and you say which is of course the Shemuel counterpart, and it's quoting everything that happened. They asked for the king. Shemuel told them, and then God tells Shemuel, "What do you feel bad about? They just threw me out."
It makes sense.
Right? They asked for a king like all the goyim. The words are quoting the Shemuel piece.
Mhm.
That's an insertion, right? Because later the nation had to deal with a monarchy. It did not have a monarchy. Shemuel, when Shemuel is running the country, there's no monarchy. It's a different system. It's a judicial system that's in place, run by the prophet. Now, what is the very next law? You know the bestiality is toibah.
Mhm.
Don't do like their toabot. Now you remember I said that it used toibah. It puts the two together, mechashefah and bestiality, to say the most disgusting toibah that you can think of. You go to any person, you tell him bestiality, he goes, "Ooh, that's an abomination," right? Not talking about if the guy kills people or doesn't kill people. You call it an abomination, right? So look at the words here. Lo tilmad la'asot keto'abot hagoyim ha'im. The very next, the law that comes in once you set up the judicial system, which is a little bit like Elohim lo tekalil, v'nasiba amicha lo ta'or. You're listening? Those guys are the guys that run the country. You hear? Don't do those terabot. What are they? Lo yamaseh b'cha ma'abir b'no b'to b'esh. Kosem kesanim me'onem menachesh umchashef
Hashem.
v'chober haver v'shoel ob v'doni v'donesh hametim. You know why? Ki to'abat Adonai kol ose ele. Ubiglal hatorobot Adonai le'monishtam parecha. You know why they're getting thrown out? Because that's what they do all day. Now, you can't get a better fit-in, so to speak, about saying the Cheshefam Mishpatim, turning to Bishiyah, Shochev Behemah, saying it's a Torah, making the two of them be paired, and going after that to Zobeach Elohim Yahoram. And Botila Adonai Levador. Tanim Tiyem Adonai Lehecha. Because those people do that. One second. Lo siv l'shmoa ve'yomer Elai hiti v'asher diberu. And then what do they say? V'lo amut ve'yomer Elai hiti v'asher diberu navi akim lehem akir b'achim. I'm gonna. If they request, right?
Mhm.
Right? If they're more lost, they don't want to listen anymore. Okay. I navi akim lechem akir Achehem amongst their brothers, I will establish a Navi, Kamocha, like you. Moshe is telling them, God told me, I'm going to put a Navi in power like you. I'm going to put my words in his mouth. I'm going to come after him.
It's repeated. Navi Tasim. It's said twice. At the beginning of the passage.
Yes.
Oh, why?
Yes.
Pasuk 16, you have the whole thing, 15.
Yeah, I understand.
Right.
And you listen to him, right?
Okay.
Then he says, the law said it called Adonai. He says, good, I'm going to do it. I'm going to establish one for you, right? It's good.
Mhm.
It's going to be, and there'll be another Navi. Now listen, you can, if you want to hold your place, you can. I want you now to go back to where we are, to our place, and I want you to look at this 80-word section as coming in between this 80-word section comes to reflect what we'll call the covenant in spades. This is what it means to do Selakah and Mishpat. You protect, you do, right? I know Abraham, to do Selakah and Mishpat. When you immediately finish with this thing, you go back to the Elohim Lo Tekalil, you talk about Beyom Shemini and Kodesh, and then you say, Lo Tisa Shema Shav. Al Tasher Te'atchaim B'Rasha Liyot Et Hamas. Don't put yourself with Rasha to be a Et Hamas. Lo Tiyeh Ahare Rabim Le'aot. Don't go after the majority to do bad. V'lo ta'aneh al rib l'ntot acharei rabim. Lehatot. Don't. This is where you're told, don't go after the majority. Well, you have to go after the majority, not when they're doing the wrong thing. If that's what they do, then don't do it. And then it says more than that. Vidal lo tehdad b'rivor. And the guy who's down and out, don't put him up upon a pedestal and judge him as right just because he's a down and out guy. You know what you just got? You just got a rule on what about how to act.
Yeah.
Balance. Everything that you're being given right now is balance. The whole thing, the way it's set up for you, is balance.
You have compassion, but you don't pervert justice.
You have compassion, but and you go after the majority. But 1 second, you don't go after the majority. If everybody in the room is all nuts, if the famous example, there's a lynch mob. The whole town's doing it. There's nobody. You're the only guy. You go, 1 second, I'm not going along with this. You guys are wrong. This is a perversion of justice. I'm not doing it. How about if they say, Hazit the guy? 1 second, he stole the guy's money. What are you, crazy? You can't do that. Yes, he's down and out. He is a Hazit guy, yeah? But the law is the law. Oh, you want to be compassionate. You don't want to come down too hard on him. But don't say he's innocent. He's not innocent. He's guilty, right? So don't put him, law tehdad. The words are very clear. V'dal lo tehdad b'ribor. When there's a problem going on, right, between two people, don't glorify him. Don't make him as he's right no matter what. It is what it is. If the other guy's right, he's right. By the same token, it gives you the flip side of that. Don't go after the majority. By the way, everybody quotes this in the wrong way, right? You know that? Go after the majority. The law is telling you don't go after the majority, right? Right. Don't go after the majority if they're doing the bad thing. Say, oh, go after the majority. It's very funny how the expression came down to quote it out of context. So now, when you look at this, if you didn't have the 80-word section, you know what you're being told? Listen carefully. Zobeah l'Elohim Yahoram. That's on one side. If you sacrifice to Elohim undefined, Yahoram, you should be putting a head in for that. I'll make a statement. Don't jump down my neck. I'm making a statement. Just to make my point a minute. The guy is a famous judge, famous guy, leader, whatever he is. He's called Elohim. He's classified like that. If you offer him sacrifice, right? You, by the same token, balance. Elohim lo tekalil. Don't say, let him drop dead. And then asiba michal lo taor. Why? You can't be leaderless. You've got to have a system of some sort in play. On the one side, if you treat the leadership as semi-deities, so to speak, then Yahoram. The only person you treat like that is God, no human being.
Not even the rabbis.
Not even the rabbi. Very well said. You heard that, Eli? Not even the
I got
rabbi.
it. I got it.
By the same token, Elohim lo tekalel. Don't you don't dare therefore go, I don't care what he says, let him drop dead, right? The hell with him. Or the Nasi. You can't curse him. You can't do that. There's gotta be a balance in how you do this. And it's
Just
not
like
an
these,
easy. I'm sorry?
just like the Israeli political and judicial systems.
Yeah, well.
They're so respectful of each other.
Yeah, very much. They love each other very much, and they would never curse each other,
No.
and so on and so forth. Yeah, they kill each other. Yeah, it's very sad. It's very
Very
sad.
sick.
So you have to be balanced in your approach. In between those two statements of going to the apodictic law is be, is um magic. Why does Devarim turn to magic right away? Because magic is what everybody wants to solve all the problems in the world. All the you said Israel, all the right wingers, the hell with the army, the hell with the soldiers, they're all a bunch of lowlifes, they're all not religious, and they're not and the heck with Israel, and we have nothing to do with it. They're living there, checking line. On the left side, the left wingers, they're going to protect everything, right? They're the great protectors. They're a bunch of idiots, a bunch of first class fools, idiots in how they do it. So you end up with those extremes. Everybody wants a solution where magic comes into play. The Christians, you don't worry, Jesus will take care of you. Right?
Read this Tehillim.
Do this, read this Tehillim, and everything will be good. That's correct. The Muslims, don't worry, Mohammed, just kill anybody that gets in your way, and kill everybody who gets in your way. Everybody has a solution to take care of the problems. No one wants balance in it. No one wants to deal with the fact that magic doesn't solve anything. You know what magic is? It's like the most disgusting bestiality. That's how it's like bestiality. Because once you fall back on magic, the injustices that arise as a result of it are the worst injustices that the suffering is beyond comprehension. The suffering goes how far? It brings about death. It brings about suffering to the underprivileged, suffering to the poor, suffering to everybody. So it takes the magic potion and it puts it as number one in the apodictic laws. Number one. It's almost like saying no other gods.
You don't have to work. Magic, you don't have to work.
You don't have to do anything.
They're telling you have to work. You have to find the balance. You can't just give the poor guy.
It's fine.
You can't just give the poor guy justice in his favor necessarily.
Right.
So it's a lot of work.
That's correct.
Apply yourself to it.
That's correct. You got to make calls. You can't just curse that. You can't say, "Oh, all the leaders are a bunch of lowlifes." No, you can't do that either, because then you have no balance in your life. Then you don't know what the hell you're doing. Then you run hog wild, and there's no government, there's no control, there's no central anything. You've got to balance it. That's why it says you can't go after majority when it's wrong, and you can't go after the Hazit guy when he's wrong. Right? That's also balance. Which way can you go? You can go right, you can go left, you got to walk down a center road. Nobody wants to walk down the center road. Nobody. It's too hard. So everybody wants to take care of their fears. Fear is at the bottom of everybody's move. The right wingers. I checked my Delulav 27 times. The point, they stand there looking at it for an hour and a half, and then they go home and they go to sleep at night because everything is good. See if Eli's there. Yeah, he's there. No, he's there. My battery went dead, Eli. I put it on
That's
Mars.
okay. I thought it was me. I thought it was me.
No, no,
Okay.
no. You know what this is like? You know the 82nd Mizmor? Ani amarti Elohim etem. Ubne Elyon
Yon
kulechem.
kolechem.
I thought Ani amarti Elohim etem. So the idiot commentators say, "Oh, you see, he believed in the idolatry, some of the monolatry. They're stupid." All he's saying is, "I thought you were Elohim.
I trusted the
I thought you were the sons of God. I thought you were special. I thought you were unique. I thought you were the holy guys. I looked up to you all my life. I called you Hachan." Right? Ani amarti Elohim etem. Ubnei Elyon kulachem. To say that he's doing anything more than using an expression is just foolish. It's just silly stuff. Ubnei Elyon. Achen kadam tumutun ukahad asarim tipolu. You, that I had you up on the high pedestal, I realize you're going to die and you're going to fall just like the sarim. That is the Nephilim,
Right.
of Bereshit,
Right.
the fallen angels, right? What did they do? They took from anybody they want on earth. The G's, right? They're supposed to act in a proper way, so you call them fallen angels. There's no such thing as an angel that falls, but they're supposed to be live their lives in an angelic way, live with integrity, live with representing something to the society that's unique. And when he's saying, when I was younger than Avi, Yirmiyah is telling you, I looked up to you. That's what I thought was great. But I found out you're just a bunch of junk. You're a bunch of guys. Right? I have nothing to do with those guys.
A
That's the
dysfunctional.
16th Mizmor. I thought you were fabulous people, but you're just a bunch of idolaters. You're into black magic. No, you're into your ego, your pockets, your money, your power, and at the expense of everybody around you.
A
So-
dysfunctional judicial system is the
That's-
first recipe for social disintegration.
Exactly right. You said it perfect. A dysfunctional judicial system is suffering on every front. So it comes up with the 80 words in the middle to describe what you, the reader, are supposed to emulate. And right away, when I saw that it was 80 words, Ronnie, my grandson, says, "Grandpa, it's 80 words." And I go, "Oh my God, it's right in the middle of all of this. And it's a major statement that's being made about the essence of the covenant." You can't get better words to describe the covenant. Now, how much time we have left? We have 10 minutes. Listen carefully. Knowing what I'm going to skip now through these apodictic laws, right? And I want you to go to to chapter 23 and its last words. You say chapter 23 goes to like this. In fact, I'll read a little before. Your enemy, right? You found his sword. Or guy who hates you, and he's rovetz tahad masa'or. He's carrying a load that he can't handle. V'hadalta ma'azov lo, azov ta'azov imo. Help him. Come through. We're asking you to go above and beyond the call of duty. You see something, it's tough. Get in there, get involved, do the right thing, help him, let him get on his way, and go forward. The next thing, lo tateh mishpat ebyonecha b'ribo, midabar sheker tirhak, naki v'sadik al taharog, ki lo astik rasha. Don't take bribes. It's going now in, when you have rapid fire, a description is a rapid fire description. Don't shohalotika. Ger lotil hats. There's the ger. And now it comes with Shabbat. When it comes to Shabbat, why does it come to the Shabbat but the holiday version? Because that represents the ultimate state. Shabbat is the sign of the Berit, correct? Shabbat is the one that says the equalizer. Everybody's equalized. On the holidays, this is the yearly equalizer.
Right.
Everybody goes. Who goes? You, your wife, your children, your servants, your maidservants,
Everybody.
the people who are staying with you, the alien, everybody that's visiting you. Every single person goes with you. And when you get there, you're all on equal footing. Everybody is the same. They go to all the parties. They go to all the feasts.
They share all the korbanos.
They share in all the everything. They eat at all the barbecues with you. Regular. They're not sitting in the back somewhere getting some scraps. They share with you to the fullness, the ultimate vision of what the Torah wants in the Ten Commandments when it talks about Shabbat. At that juncture, it says the following. Lo tizbah al hametz dam zibhi, lo yalin hilib hagi at boker, yishit bikurat nataka tabi bet anoy lecha, lo tevashel gedi b'halevi mo.
Now you know why that's there.
Yeah.
Because it's compassion. Because we're talking about, like you go, what is it doing there? But now I get it. Now
Right.
that's why it's
That's why it's the last thing,
here.
because the animal, don't
Right.
do that.
Even animals have
Right.
compassion.
Or you could think of it as Morris's way.
That would take a while.
Too long. Okay.
It was a heavy-
You know what the next words are?
It's
What were the next
idiomatic
words?
expression.
Listen. Huh? Yeah.
It's an idiomatic expression.
Idiomatic
It
expression.
summarizes this whole section,
Mhm.
which means don't avoid your responsibilities that you've been given. Another time.
Yeah. He'll it's really, really good. It's really good. But I want to say this much now. Listen to me carefully. In Devarim, do you remember it talked about Mechashefah? And then it went right to the Navi Akim Lechan Mekudbecha. Elav Tishma'un. Right? Now we went to the whole thing, and the last thing it has to say is the following. Hine anochi shoeh malach befanecha, v'shmorcha bedarech, v'lhabi achayel ha'makom asher hachinoti. Yishmenu panav ushma bekolo. What does it say in Devarim? Elav tishma'un.
Shmaun.
Over here it says, this is exactly what it said in Devarim from another perspective. Al tamer bo, ki lo yifasal v'shachem, ki shemi bekirbo, ki im shamoa tishma bekolo, v'asita kol asher adved v'ayapti odoibecha, v'asati yisurecha, ki elech malachi lefanecha, and he'll bring you to the eretz of the animal, lo tishtav Elohim, lo tavdem, lo kamasik, don't go to the black magic and to those stupidities. Break them all down. That's like the blessings and curses. I'll remove disease. How many words is the section?
80.
That's right. Exactly right. Another 80-word section. Another hitting the nail on the head of the covenant's constituents. This is what the covenant's all about. And just like it said, I'm going to give you a Navi, I am going to give you someone to interact. You know, he's a leader. He's someone who you turn to. You do have to have somebody. I'm in with you on that. But that's the thing happening in the covenant. Now there's no time at all left, and I want to say the following.
From where? I'm sorry.
From Hinei Anochi until Bekirbecha. Right. Here, you could all look at it.
Yeah.
Here. In fact, pass them out so they could see how nice this piece is. Here, Morris. And in fact, here are all the sheets on the other one. Right? Right. Okay. I hope I didn't give you the wrong sheet. Yeah. So now, listen, what are these? Yeah, you could give these out to see the 80-word section of here, there's a bunch of them. So now I want to tell you all of this. I'm going to say something that we will in the next class get to. This is a much, much, much bigger picture. Think that you just got oriented in how Mishpatim is moving along. I skipped areas. I gave you the two covenantal spots. I talked about how there's comparison to Sefer Devarim. I talked about, right, the Mechashefah and so on and so forth. And I talked about the fact that the thing of I will listen is what you, the human being, is supposed to do when you have people working for you and you say, if word gets back to me, I'm coming after you with everything I have. I'm going to take you down, right? I will not allow it. Now, that whole piece is now going to move into chapter 24, which you all know the commentary on chapter 24, right? That's the 30-page commentary. I'm skipping that now. And Tirumah is going to culminate, go all the way now, all the way until chapter 33, and until the word chapter 30, to chapter 31. And I want you to go because the writer of the chapters, he was Hazit, he was not well, and he doesn't know how to look at things properly. You have, we know this is the perfect covenantal statement about Shabbat, right? There's 8 Shabbats, Shabbat Shabbaton is the middle one. It's all perfect. You remember, the chiastic to perfection, right? If you don't know the CLI, I'll show that to you one time because it's really, guys, is it gorgeous? It's perfect. It's perfect. So that's another, so to speak, 80. You understand? But it's 8 Shabbats, and it's and how you see that it works point to point. It's really special. Ubeyom HaShavi'i Shabbat ve'inafash. The next words are you moving on now. ואתה ויתר אל משה ככלותו לדבר איתו בהר סיני שני לוחות העדות, and then אצבע אלוהים וירא העם כי בושש. From 31:18, which should have been 32:1, is what it should have been. He shouldn't have attached it to the previous piece. It's a total mistake, right? Total mistake. It's ridiculous. And go all the way until chapter 34's last, chapter 34, verse 26's last verse. Reshit, Bikurei Admatecha, Tabi Bet Almai Lecha, Bahalevi Mo. Now, you have gone full cycle because in there will come, that'll be the conclusion of the mini law code that copies chapter 23 of Shemot. It's copying it, and it's a condensation of it. And those words themselves come right before, come right after where he tells, where Moshe says, Ki am kisheorif, the second lohot, and after they say, Hine anochi koret berit, neged kol amecha se neflaot, right? It's going to be asher lo nivru b'chol haaretz kol hagim v'rak kohem et asher b'kabam aseh Adonai kirahu, and then he has the mini law code, which of course ends off with the holidays, which of course is ending off with the Shabbat formulation again and repeating it, but in chiasm. Everything in 23 and 34 are chiastically presented. Right? What?
Yeah,
all of it. It's a chiasm. It's said backwards.
I see it.
That said, now listen carefully. That said, you now have a section that's very well defined. It starts right after the Shabbat formulation. You're going to be back to a Shabbat formulation here, and then you're going to be back to a Shabbat formulation in Ve'akel, right? The Shabbat signposts are in your face, so to speak. You can't miss them, right? This one, I said, from the words, and I never knew this till last week, from chapter 31, verse 18, Vayeten al Moshe kechalito ledaber ito b'har Sinai, from those words until Lord Tevashel Gedi B'Haled Imor in chapter 34. I said, this is the second Luhot. This is the Berit. How many words is it? How much? Exactly.
How many?
Exactly 1,300 words. Exactly 1,300 words. And you even have another 80-word section. I'm going to end on this. When Moshe is pleading with God to forgive the nation for the haegel, right? You'll turn immediately to the haegel, right? Those words, Veitin, he gives them the Luchot, and then the people see that he's Boshesh, Mired Minahad, and he comes down, Vayifin Veyed Moshe Minahad, and so on and so forth. There's a famous, maybe the most famous in all of the Torah words. ויאמר משה אל אדוני ראה אתה אומר אלי העלת העם הזה ואתה לא הודעתני את אשר תשלח עמי.
Me?
You didn't tell me who you're sending. ואתה אמרת ידעתיך בשם. וגם מצאת חן בעיניי, right? You said that. You said you like me, right? ואתה אמנם מצאתי חן בעיניך, well, if you like me, הודיעני נא דרכיך. I want to understand what's going on here. So, here's how I'll end tonight's class. This is exactly 80 words. Listen to me. This that I just read, right? So Hashem tells him famous words that you know that I'm not going to go into tonight because it's too late. And then, you know what he tells Moshe, I'm not going to go into it. He says, okay, I'll give you what you want over there too, with Hodi'in and Adiyacheka. Ve'yomer Adonai Moshe, gam et hadavar hazeh asher dibarta yaseh, ki masat hen be'enai, because you found favor. I'm going to do what you asked you in the previous piece. Ve'de'acha b'shem, and I'm going to make known to you with the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. You with me? I'm going to make it known. I'm going to make you know. You're going to know it. The Yomad had any net kiyodech. So I says, show me your glory.
Right.
So he tells him, you can't see me. And he takes him and he puts him on the suit, right?
Yeah.
And he covers his face, and he passes by. He says, no person can see me and live. You can only see me when I'm my back, after I'm leaving the scene. So that statement sets you up for the greatest revelation that he has in his life, right?
Yeah.
And he gets it, and he hears the Luchot, and then he makes the prayer the right way. Forgive them because they're Am Kishor. If he's afraid to say it all the time, now he doesn't say, he says, forgives them because of that. Because God told him he's El Rahum Hanun. Remember that Hashem told him when he asked in this Hareri na kibodecha, he says in verse 19, 33:19, Vayomer ani avir kol tu bi al panecha v'karati b'shem Yud Kei Vav Kei. God tells him, I'm going to call out in the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, which he does. Right? Vayikra Adonai. Stop. Adonai. God is the one who's doing that. V'hanoti et asher ahon. And I will have mercy who I want to have mercy on. I will have compassion who I want to have compassion on. Yani, you're going to go so far, but I'm telling you now, you're not going to get. You're not changing my mind about when and where and how. I make that call, not you, right? Ki hanun ani, exactly. So now, I want to end the class on this because I think it's really good. I think we have a breakthrough on understanding that hasn't been known for 2,500 years. I'm not exaggerating. Am I exaggerating? Am I right?
I'm listening.
I can't say it tonight. It's the next class.
Can I come back?
Yeah, we got it. We'll see when we have another class. Right. But I'm telling you, I now understand finally, this is the theodicy,
Yad
Sadiq
Mitot.
Firat law, the
Yeah.
Shabbatov law. There's a million commentaries. I'm telling you, we have a
You got it.
breakthrough that opens this thing wide open. And I gave you the preliminaries now, which is understanding how Mishpatim is working, understanding how it's all moving forward, and where the covenant, those covenantal words of, I'll repeat it so you remember, that you emulate me when you are leaders, right? When you're leaders, right? Whether it be the Nasi or whether it be you running your company, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other one, I'm going to give you somebody to inspire you. I am going to give you somebody. I am going to give you a leader, and listen to him. And you do need leadership, and I'm going to give you what you need. But then he says, so now I want to see you all your glory. Think of it that way. I want to understand it in depth. He goes, up to a point, and you're not going to be able to, because you can't see me and live. Those words mean you can't see. The high means you don't live long enough to see what I do, right? Call them at the car. You can't understand. You're going to look, and you're going to look at October 7th, and
It's a process.
you're going to go out of your mind, and you're not going to be able to see my movements and how I'm coping and how I'm dealing with that horror that you brought on to yourself, not that I brought on, right? All of the things that are happening are you brought it on. That's what's happening. These problems are internal to you, and you're dispensing justice, or you're dispensing whatever it may be, but you don't see how the pieces are being moved. I said in one of the recent conversations, you could never have understood that Eddie Jacobson met Harry Truman in World War I in the army, and and Truman thought that Eddie Jacobson, he saw as a Jew, he always heard from his mother that Jews were a bunch, lowlifes, and he looks at him, he finds out he's a good guy, and they become best friends, and then they open up a haberdashery together, and then when they go BK, Harry says, we have to pay everybody back. And Eddie says, we went BK. What do you mean, Peter? We're broke. It's during horrible economic times, depression, terrible things. And he says, okay, we pay everybody back. And then one day he's needed, and he walks into the White House. Yeah. He's there to see Harry. He says, buddy, they're friends. They're in business together on good terms. They stayed on good terms, on the highest level of what you'd call proper actions. They stayed firm in how you could never understand how pieces are being moved. Never. You could never understand how Donald Trump is going to lose, because it wasn't time for him to continue running, because he had to have the break, and then he had to come back. You could never understand any of this, right? You could only understand it in retrospect. So you could only see me back. So in the next class, we're going to say, how does this work? What are the mechanics of it? And how the answer is not a magical mystery tour answer. It's a very earthy, concrete, solid answer that when you hear it, you go, yeah, that's the answer. It's not, you know what I mean, magical mystery tour. It's not some esoteric thing.
Philosophical.
It's not some deep philosophical.
Mushrooms.
Lobo
to
Shamayim.
understand it.
No, not Losh Beshamayim. No,
I know.
you don't need. You don't. It is correct, Lo Beshamayim, those words and how they're implied. That's correct. Yeah. It's not that. The answer is a very, very fundamental answer. And when you get that answer, it's like, oh, that's what the Torah wants from you. That's how you function. That's how you see God's glory, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
This one for today. It says, "V'hanoti et asher."
V'hanoti.
Okay. V'rahamti, right?
Bari Hamti.
So,
Yeah.
and then at 77, it's Hanot al Im Kafes After Hamam. It's the same order. It's still,
Yeah.
it's this pasuk.
He tells him, did you forget to do this?
It's this pasuk.
That's right. Right. When he makes the prayer in 77, the 77th Mizmor. What, you forgot? But it's all over. It's never going to happen again, and so on and so forth. So we will deal with it. And I'm not being a wise guy, by the way. It's too much. It's too much. As you all bring these ideas are new. Everything I spoke about tonight with you guys is new. Right? The whole movement from this, but you have to absorb it. You have to absorb it. Yeah. All right. The best. Eli, it was
Thank
good.
you.
Really
so
good
much.
to see
That's
you.
great.
Really good to
Thank
see you. And
you.
I meant what I
Thank you.
said. I missed
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Missed
you.
you
Thank you so
terribly
much.
last time.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
The
Take
best,
care.
the best,
Thanks.
the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Thank you so much for tonight.